Greeno now to Egan. Falls for Brown, and it's in the net. Yes, it's in the net. A few looks at the referee as the scramble came about, but Dougie Brown got the final touch. It went to Brown, it went to Egan, it went to Greeno, and it finally finished up with Doug Brown, who put it away. Goes Daunt and Blair. It's a touch on by Daunt. Max skimming. This could be dangerous. Daunt up there. In comes Wright. Oh, and a fingertip save by Peter Lametz then. Wright to John Stewart. Long effort. Falls for Calvin Daunt. Can he get a shot in? He does. And he's just outside the post. That was a good effort by Calvin Daunt. Only as far as Alan Hunter. Big fella will hit this with his left foot. He's done it. He does. And he was unlucky. Down the line for Egan. Got Brown inside. He's got Wooden inside. He's tackled by Niven, but he still retained possession. Now he clips it inside to Brown. He gets the header over the back. Eisendorn into the penalty box. Up goes Murphy, but is headed out by Hunter. Falls for Halford. Oh, and he couldn't get the shot in now. Murphy hit the post. Falls for Egan. And Peeves dropped on it. Bit of excitement. Halford couldn't get the shot in. Murphy hit the post. Egan tried to get in on the rebound. And Peeves was on it like a cat. Now Halford again. To Murphy. Across the face of the goal. Falls for Egan. 2-0. Eventually it came. 24 minutes into the second half. Charlie Egan makes it 2-0. Murphy clips it across the box. Egan picked it up and tucked it away. Max Skimming robbed by Greeno. And away he goes. He's got Wood in his side. Egan going left. And Brown away over on this right-hand side. Wood in tries the shot. Beef takes it low down. Inside to Eisendorn. To Halford. To Eisendorn. Touched on by Greeno. Eisendorn. Falls for Egan. Good save by Beeves. In comes Eisendorn, but the youngster is on it the second time. Oh, miscued by Niven, won by Greeno. But Alan Hunter gets it away. Daunt is in there with a bit of a chance. Gives it to Danny Wright. Good left foot shot by Danny Wright into the side netting.
To this big match between the National League leaders Preston and South Melbourne, the local rivals. Bobby Russell gets the ball first, and it's Alan Davidson. Forward to Halford. Halford attacking now. Brown, and he's pushed off the ball. The South Melbourne team has one change. Steve Blair is out suspended, and into the side comes Steve Wooden. The Preston side has Gary Ward out injured, and in his place is Lube Petrovski. That was cleared by Petrovski, but it's stopped on the line by Davidson. Holding the ball under pressure, but losing it to Halford. Now it's Egan into the box for a shot. He gets in across, but it's too high for Wooden. Yes, he has a go, but it's saved by Wilson and knocked past the post for a corner. And it comes back to Murphy again for the cross. A low one, flicked on, headed away by Petrovski. Wooden, short one, and an own goal. An own goal puts South Melbourne 1 goal up. We'll have another look at how that happened. Murphy crosses. It comes down to the ground. Another shot comes in, and off the foot of Petrovski, I think. Slings it across. Handel tried one, but he was right off balance, and a bad miss kick sends the ball way, way over the bar. Eisendorn. Jones. Petrovsky flicks it over the top, but again it's Eisendorn who clears overhead. Ojakov robbed of the ball. 3 men for Preston, can't manage to win it back. Jones and Todorowsky slips, letting in Brown. Brown facing the goalkeeper. That'll be a goal. 2-0. Doug Brown, and how happy he is. Two mistakes by the defence, 2 goals. There's Todorowsky down on his knees. He slipped, he missed the ball. Dougie Brown picks it up. Takes aim now. Bang, inside the near post. 2-0. About half a metre from the line. Brown plays it in. And another own goal by David Jones. David Jones flew to head it over the bar, and instead of doing that, he heads it into goal. So South Melbourne has got 2 own goals from the Preston defence. There's Jones with a flying header high into the net. It bounces, Brown puts his foot out, and a shot. And there's another one, 4-0, Doug Brown. That's 2 goals to Brown in this game. And again, he puts the fist up in a victory salute. There's the ball bouncing. Brown puts his foot out, gets it behind Jones, shoots first time, and past Wilson to the far post, just inside the far post. As I said, Doug Brown's 2nd goal in this match. And that's the final whistle and the final score. South Melbourne 4, Preston 0. The goal scorers, Doug Brown got 2, and an own goal by Petrovsky, and another own goal by David Jones.
Yes, the champions in Canberra 5-0, while today Heidelberg and Footscray recorded just one of 3 0-all draws on the day. A particular chance to overtake Preston, who are still on top by the barest of margins. Newcastle have also closed the gap on Sydney City, and look who's in 4th place, South Melbourne, formerly 8th, and now the championship a definite possibility. St George's win means they are now in 5th place, while Olympic drop again to 6th, but it's all ever so tight in that top half. In the bottom half, not too many changes. Adelaide City making the biggest impression.
And brought him off, and then that's when Hellas got the 2 goals. In the second game on our ground, that was another strange situation, because that was when Crino and Charlie Ankos collided, and Charlie Ankos, because of a retaliation, he got sent off, so we were down to 10 men. And Hellas went on to win 2-0.
Welcome to Green Gully Reserve for this, the first National League match to be played at this ground. Green Gully in green, of course, South Melbourne in blue, and the 2 captains, John Eisendorn on your left and Stuart Cannell, have tossed. South Melbourne has won the toss, and they're going towards the right-hand side goal. Referee Evan Venios preparing for the kick-off. Green Gully, situated in the suburb of St Albans, about 14 miles from Melbourne, and very much a centre of Melbourne soccer. Now 10, the former Welsh international, he was player coach last season. Now, of course, the Green Gully coach is Jimmy Rooney.
Did you find a subject so close to my heart?
The ball going back to Lou Dennis, the goalkeeper, and Lou Dennis gets a hefty shove from Paul Lewis, his former teammate, Davidson. Lewis is down hurt. He gets up quickly, though. And it's Alan Davidson again, through the middle for Crino. Crino forward for Brown. Brown facing the goalkeeper. That's the first goal. And engineered once more by Oscar Crino with that pass. Doug Brown in front of Kramers and slots the ball nicely past Dennis. down hurt. He's up again, though. Carl Holford, he's moved into the left-back position, vacated by Calafatidis. Doug Brown on the ball again, facing the goalkeeper. Tries a low shot. 2-0, Doug Brown. Oscar Crino on the ball. Here's Brown. Wade and Cannell beaten. Now Brown faces Dennis on an angle. Dennis tried to push it past. Can't do so. It lands in the back of the net. Lewis. Stopped by Cannell. Free kick. Murphy. Corner. It came off Wade. There's Wade's header. Doug Brown, 2 goals to his credit, takes the corner, headed away by Cannell, and Crino chases. Davidson. Brown with Davidson again. Lewis. But he can't get clear of Willie Vassallo. Oscar Crino. The 2-11s clash. Williams and Murphy. Murphy comes away with the ball. Brown waiting for it in the middle. Can it reach him? It reaches Lewis instead. He tries a shot. That's wide. Here's Murphy putting the ball across. Lewis, and Lewis misses. His 3rd miss so far. Brown. Crino. Kallenbach is out wide again. Intercepted by Vassallo. Breakaway coming up for Green Gully. Long ball by Smallman. Too long, in fact. Lormet's outside his area. Clears. Ken Murphy let it go. He ducked and let it go for Doug Brown. Takes a long pot shot, but that's no good. Referee Vanio signals the end of the game. 2-0 the final score. South Melbourne has won, and we look back to 2 great goals by Doug Brown and some mighty goalkeeping by Lou Dennis.
Yes, Paul Lewis, the subject of curiosity at the start of the match, Dougie Brown stealing the show at the end. and going somewhere to emulating his own feat of being the league's goal king last season. So South Melbourne retain their place at the top of the National Conference table, as we shall see in a moment. But first to all the results in the National Conference, where Adelaide City went down at home in a thriller to Melbourne, Croatia. Olympic managed a 1-1 draw thanks to Marshall Soper with Brisbane Lions. It was the same scoreline between Brunswick Juventus and West Adelaide. Brisbane City did well, scoring a 3-2 win away to Footscray. Green Gully, as you saw, went down to South Melbourne 2-0, and Heidelberg escaped with a last-minute penalty after having a man sent off against Sunshine George Cross. So South Melbourne on top as the only team with a perfect record, with a group of unfancied outfits below them. Not one of last year's big guns from Melbourne figuring in that top 6. Sunshine George Cross, who lead the bottom half, are also unbeaten thanks to their 2 draws, and quite a crowd at the foot of the table, 5 teams on 1 point. So another good day for South Melbourne, 2 wins in a row and sitting pretty on top of the table. Between South Melbourne and Sydney City. It seems most observers at Middle Park, including our cameras, didn't quite see the incident that caused Davidson's injury, but once the injury was discovered, it caused considerable alarm around the ground and brought some quick thinking from one spectator.
Cosmina tackled by Blair, but he gets the ball wide, and behind play we've got Davidson down. A supporter has come on, and Davidson is in big trouble here. He's getting mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and he's turning blue. He's in a very bad way. A supporter luckily went for it to help him out. I think that may be a friend of Davidson's there. Oscar Crino consoling her. Alan Davidson now being carried off on the stretcher.
Well, after that, Alan was taken by ambulance to Prince Henry's Hospital, where he was x-rayed, and as I said, he's okay, although we don't yet know whether he'll resume playing next week.
4th place. Sydney City riding high again this season, holds top spot in the Australian Conference, but takes the field today without Ken Bowden and Nelio Borges, who were transferred to Sydney, Croatia, for a total of $11,000 last week. Sydney City didn't play last week because its scheduled opponent, Newcastle KB United, dropped out of the NSL and wasn't replaced until this week. South Melbourne surrendered top place on the National Conference ladder when it lost 2-1 to Juventus, a defeat that was costly in more ways than one because South Melbourne also sustained a number of injuries. On the credit side, South Melbourne has Carl Holford back. He was going to join Melbourne, Croatia, but has been persuaded to change his mind. Holford is one of 2 changes to the South Melbourne team, coming into the side along with John Carnasulis to replace John Eisendorn and Oscar Crino, both injured. 2 changes in the Sydney City side, Gerardo Gomez and John Cosmina coming back from suspension and replacing Ken Bowden and Graham Fletcher. Referee Fern whistles the start of the game. And it's Bobby Russell getting the ball forward, but it comes back straight away. Joe Watson in the midfield. Davidson. Davidson playing sweeper today, by the way, because John Eisendorn out injured. And Blair clears. Back to Watson. Now he goes wide for Murray. And Holford puts pressure on him straight away. Carl Holford. Finds Cosmina. Cosmina tackled by Blair, but he gets the ball wide, and behind play we've got Davidson down. A supporter has come on, and Davidson is in big trouble here. He's getting mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and he's turning blue. He's in a very bad way. A supporter luckily went for it to help him out. I think that may be A friend of Davidson's there, Oscar Crino, consoling her. Alan Davidson now being carried off on the stretcher. But I repeat once more that supporter who jumped the fence deserves a medal. He may even have saved Alan Davidson's life. He applied mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on the player, seeing that he was in great distress. He freed his tongue, and we congratulate him for it. Egan, booted clear by Robertson. Kiyakos. Corner to South Melbourne. Murray Barnes disputes that. He says you can't see, linesman. Doug Brown taking the corner. The big men waiting for it. Steve Blair is in the box now. Bobby Russell is as well. Goes over. Blair goes up. In front of the goalkeeper. Murphy tried to help that along. Brown. Well wide. He curved it well, but it went wide of the post. Good cross coming in, deflected. It's a corner. A couple of minutes left. Either team can still win it. Doug Brown taking the corner. Blair is there. Watson. Fletcher. De Marigny is going with him. But Postecoglou wins out with that challenge. Safety first by South Melbourne. Ken Murphy on the ball. He lobs it in. Up goes Blair, but the free kick going to Sydney City. We've just heard from Prince Henry's Hospital that Alan Davidson has had head x-rays. He's okay, and apparently the problem was caused by a bad blow around the neck area. He was unconscious, but he's okay now, and that's good news for the South Melbourne fans as referee Jim Fern signals the end of the match.
We're coming from Rio, the streets of Milan, Athens and London, the festival at Cannes. We're coming from Delhi and Tokyo. Every time we come back, we're bringing you more. Network 028, bringing the world back home. We're coming from Brisbane, Old Hobart Town, from all across Australia, sun up and sun down. We're full of surprises, full of good things, the whole world of viewing nobody else can bring. Here on 028, Australia's not alone. Network 028, bringing the world back home.
Third placed South Melbourne. A crowd of about 8,000 has turned up on this overcast day, which is sure to be full of excitement. First the teams, South Melbourne, number 1 Lormetz, 2 Russell, 3 Davidson, 4 Blair. 5 Kalafatidis, 6 Holford, 12 Eisendorn, 8 Crino, 9 Egan, 10 Brown, 11 Murphy, and on the bench 16 Piakos, 17 Postacoglu. One change in the Heidelberg team, number 16 John Metaxas coming in, and Steve Marley out injured. The team, number 1 Olver, 2 McKee, 14 Gabrielson, 4 Angele, 5 McLeod, 11 Valentine, 7 Salamides, 8 Chinchis, 16 Metaxas, 10 Yankos, 12 Peterson, and on the bench Tassios and Delianis. We have the kickoff, and our guest commentator today is former South Melbourne Hellas star Mike Mandalis. Mike, it'll be an interesting game. How long ago did you finish playing with South Melbourne, Mike?
It's going back a few years now, Laurie. It's about 10 years ago I was in that team.
So Davidson going through the middle. He tries a shot, and a great save by Jeff Olver. A fine effort by Davidson.
It doesn't take long for Davidson to make his presence felt, Laurie.
Here we see it again. Davidson getting space for himself, and Olver saves very well. So we've got Doug Brown wearing number 14 today instead of his usual number 10. Russell, back to Brown. Nice through ball for Davidson. He cuts it square, and Salamides turns it over his own bar for a corner. Way back here, it'll be a long throw into the box. Ken Murphy's in there. He's put it away. 1-0 the score. South Melbourne takes the lead. The long throw from Chris Kalafatidis. Comes off the heads. There's Murphy battling his way through, gets his toe to it, and it's 1-0. Crino picks it up in the midfield. Murphy, the goal scorer. He scored last week as well against West Adelaide. Ian McKee. Egan facing Angele, goes inside him, tackle, down he goes. Brown takes the corner. Headed away, Melbourne smelling blood now, they want more. Peterson. Tuxas missed it. Dougie Brown has it again. Escapes that challenge. Square ball, punched away. Here's another chance. Davidson, low one. Hits the bar. Crino. Oscar Crino has made it 2-0. There's a square ball from Brown. Olver only parries it. Eisendorn has a go. It comes clear to Davidson. Deflected onto the post, and Crino gets in there. The final score, South Melbourne 2, Heidelberg 0. And a lot of spirit, a lot of commitment in this game from both sides, but of course Heidelberg playing with a disadvantage of having Charlie Yankos sent off in the first half. South Melbourne, their star Alan Davidson being patted on the back as he goes off the field, and certainly their chances of the championship strengthened by this victory.
Up in Brisbane, the Lions won out winners 2-0, 1 point, and it's South Melbourne who move into second place, level with Melbourne, Croatia, who squeeze Juventus into 4th spot. Brisbane City fall into the bottom half, where West Adelaide fall a couple of notches. She had 2 big squeeze into second place, ahead of Leichhardt, who also move in front of Melita, while Marconi and St George also move up 1 place. So Blacktown fall into the bottom half after 2 losses in a row.
Meet National Conference leaders South Melbourne Hellas on a cold wintry day here in Melbourne. Last time they met back in March, they drew 2-2 with a last-minute goal by Hellas defender John Eisendorn. A victory to Footscray this time could lift them into the top 5. As we look at the teams, Footscray's first of all, John Eisendorn back, and Oscar Crino out suspended. There's the kickoff with South Melbourne playing in white, Footscray in blue. My guest at the microphone today will be former South Melbourne captain Arthur Xanthopoulos. We'll be hearing expert comments from him. And here's Davidson on the touchline, trying to get that cross in. Can't do so. He'll try again now. Taken away from him by Belic, and he prevents a corner as well.
Their best. Unfortunately, sometimes someone gets hurt and tempers away.
Egan has made it 1-0 for South Melbourne. Eisendorn put the ball into the far post, and there was Charlie Egan right under the crossbar, two-headed in. He would have got in anyway, I think. The ball came off Blair's head. There's Eisendorn's shot. And Egan is there. Getting to the ball first and getting a corner for his trouble. About 5 minutes left in the first half. South Melbourne leading 1-0. Brown's corner. Up they go. Eisendorn is there. Egan too. And Murphy puts it in. A couple of ricochets. Murphy, the man who got onto the end of it. There's a corner from Brown. Now the ball bobbles all over the place here. First it was Egan, blocked, and Murphy. 2-0 the score. Luic crosses it in of Holford for a corner. Joe Carroll again. Up they go, and a great save by Lormitz again. Belic headed off the line by Eisendorn. Karic, here's Luic. O'Donnell's there, and on the line, it's scrambled in, is it? Yes, the goal's been given. We haven't got a clue who should get credit for that one. We'll have to see that again. Headed away by Tansey, Murphy, Tansey again, and Brown over the top. The final score, South Melbourne 2, Footscray 1.
And before drawing with Sunshine George Cross, Rob Markovac scored the goal that gave Heidelberg and Croatia still level at the top, although Juventus have increased their margin on Brisbane City to 2 points. No changes, of course, in the bottom half either.
Bobby Russell once again winds up for the long one. Lewis touches it, bounces in the box, falls for Brown, and Peter Blasby had to be sharp then to get down to that one. Down the line for Canasoulis, cuts inside, clips it to the far post, tried to find Brown there, but it was cut out by Adams. Now it's Davidson to Holford. Can he get the shot in? Falls for Davidson again. Now Brown, here's a chance. It's a goal, 1-0, right on the stroke of half-time. Kenny Murphy. In for Brown, here's a chance. Could it be 2-0? No problem for Dougie Brown. He's made it 2-0 in the dying seconds of the game. The South Melbourne Hellas fans go crazy.
The teams, first South Melbourne, there's one change in that lineup. John Eisendorn out and Angie Postecoglou in. The goalkeeper, number 1, Lormetz. In defence, 2, Russell, 5, Kalafatidis, 4, Blair, 17, Postecoglou. In midfield, 3, Davidson, 6, Holford, 8, Crino, 11, Murphy. And up front, 14, Brown, and 9, Egan. The Green Gully lineup.
And they are playing with a lot more confidence today. They got to prove something to themselves. I don't think he's worried much about Bobby. Bobby can't come him or thinking that, at half-time.
Postecoglou with a throw. And the chop by Crino.
That's what I mean. He's got...
Murphy now. Square ball. Brown. Doug Brown, he scored both goals last time these two teams met. And he's beaten Lou Dennis again to make it 1-0. Gets it in from the side. Charlie Egan's there. Chests it down for Holford. Back to Egan. Can Egan get a shot in here? He's on an angle. Into the middle it goes. Blocked there. Now Holford. And blocked again. Egan in the corner. Gets in his cross. A little bit too low. It comes off Murphy. Couldn't control it. Holford still there backing up. Davidson in the middle. Creenall back to Davidson for a shot. 2-0. Alan Davidson. What a build-up. What a goal. Almost the entire team involved there. And Alan Davidson, the man, putting it away. That's his first goal of the year. Now, Creenall laying it back into Davidson's path. And he beats Dennis with that one. That's Davidson's 7th goal for South Melbourne and his first of the season. Brown into the middle. Egan is there. He tried to lay it off, but miskicked. Murphy chasing it to the line, cuts it back nicely. Brown, and a header by Egan. There's Davidson giving the ball away. McGuinness said thank you very much and put it away. That's 2-1, and Bobby McGuinness the scorer. McGuinness joined Green Gully not long ago from Morwell Falcons. A cold, windy day for the clash of the giants between South Melbourne, the National Conference leader, and Sydney City, the leader of the Australian Conference. Sydney City, 5 points clear at the top of their ladder, have lost only 1 league game so far this year, and that was to second-placed Leichhardt, 2-1 in the 8th round. Even counting cup matches, they've lost only 3 games in all, a formidable record indeed. South Melbourne is level on points with Heidelberg at the top of the National Conference. They drew 0-0 with Sydney City last time they met, and they had a whopping 7-0 victory over Newcastle Rosebud last week, with Charlie Egan notching 4 goals. Let's have a look at the teams now. First, Sydney City, and the surprise here is that their top scorer, John Cosmina, has stayed behind in Sydney, and his place goes to Graham Fletcher. Apparently, Cosmina's absence is linked to the fact that he reportedly received a death threat over the phone during the week. Now the South Melbourne team, and it's unchanged. There's Egan. There's a long throw again. Comes off Blair. Egan is there with a head. It was touched on by Egan. Back to Davidson. Davidson lines it up. A strong shot. One-handed save by Pesano. 0, Sydney City 0. A very hard-fought game. Neither side could do much against the other teams marking and closing down. For South Melbourne, Kalapatides, Russell, Blair, all very, very good in the defence.
Davidson turns his man, clips the ball across the far post. It's an up and under, come down with snow on it. Murphy heads it down, falls for Creenall, tries to shot, and Martin's in behind it. Egan again, strong run. Inside to Brown, try to give it back to Egan. Joe Sweeney there first. Egan gets it back, and he hits, and he's put it away. Charlie Egan, half a chance, and he sticks him in. Alan Davidson, South Melbourne retain possession. Clip back in again. Egan falls for him. He knocks it in, hits the post, and Martin scrambles it away as Creenall is just about to tuck it over the line. 5 minutes to go. Corner on the right-hand side for South Melbourne. Dougie Brown to send it in. Up goes Blair, but he's beaten by Sweeney. Back in by Canasulis. Overhead kick by Davidson, and it's just outside the post. Egan, can he get the shot in? Cross the face of the goal. Dougie Brown puts it away, and that is a super goal. Charlie Egan wins it. He's got Brown arriving now. On to Dougie Brown. Can he get the shot in? No mistake. Another super goal by South Melbourne. Charlie Egan was surrounded by 3 defenders, won it, gave it to the fast arriving Dougie Brown, and he made no mistake from just inside the penalty area. To Postacoglu, beaten by Toll. To Latif. Clipped on for Bobby Toll. Across comes Bobby. What a superb goal! Peter Lomas never moved. A great goal by Bobby Toll. A super through ball by Ozzy Latif. 2-1. Still Bain. Shrugs off a couple of challenges. Ball falls to McLaren. He could get a shot in here. He does. Flags up for offside against Latif. Falls for Murphy. Inside to Canasulis. Through for Egan. Can he get a shot in? He does. And it's outside the far post. Now Blair. Oh, and a bad one by Blair. He lets Faulkner in. And Faulkner's brought down on the edge of the box. And I think Blair might find himself in the book for that one. McLaren sends the corner in. Headed away by Russell. He's had a big game today for South Melbourne. McLaren tries a shot. Hit the crossbar. Super shot by Don McLaren. It's still in play. Back by DeLuca. Oh, Latif looked as though he might have got that one away, but Bobby Russell saved it. DeLuca handball. Davidson, a nice ball across the face of the goal. Dougie Brown, the header, and a fine save by Costello. Latif, he'll try a shot. Charge down, excitement in the last minute, and the whistle goes for full time as Mick McGonigan gets the header in, and it's all over.
This season, and Dougie Brown was heading it in there, looking for Egan. Now Egan's on the ball. Gives it to Creano. Creano can shoot here. He does so. One-handed stop. And by Wilson the first time, stopping it one-handed from Creano. Postecoglou square for Brown. In the net. South Melbourne has taken the lead through Dougie Brown, his 15th goal of the season. Wilson got his hand to it, but it deflected off him. Here's the replay. Postecoglou, number 17, playing the ball square. Dougie Brown, and there it is, trickling over the line. The score, South Melbourne 1, Preston Macedonia 0.
Heidelberg remain on top, but South Melbourne pinched the runner-up position on goal difference from Croatia.
Canasulis. Now Eisendorn. Will he try one? Yes. Just off target. Dennis Boland had to scramble across his goal end, and it must have got a deflection because it's a corner on the left-hand side. Away by Tansey. Won by Blair. Eisendorn on for Dougie Brown. Could get in with the shot there. A superb shot. Hit the underside of the crossbar. The linesman has awarded a goal. The linesman immediately flagged. That was a superb shot by Dougie Brown. Eisendorn through ball. He hit it on the volley, on the side of the bar. The linesman ruled it had gone over the line. Luic has gone to appeal to the linesman, but he couldn't have possibly known. He was standing on the halfway line. Well, certainly the linesman had no doubt. His flag went up straight away. To Davidson. To Eisendorn. Canasulis. Creano could try one. Clips the goalkeeper, and it hit the top of the crossbar. Very intelligent play by Oscar Creano. To Eisendorn, got a bit of room. Switches play to Brown. Clips it back inside. Dennis Boland under pressure. Touches it over the bar. Carriage. Blair and Bellish battle of the big men. Blair wins this one. Forward for Dougie Brown. Got a little bit of room. Egan making his way in. Creano. Egan lets it run to Creano. Yes, some goal that. Fine break. Stevie Blair won a vital challenge. Middle of the park. Gave it to Brown. Into Egan. He played the dummy. And Oscar Creano tucked it away. 2-0. So Melbourne come out quickly. Touched on by Bellish, but the flag's up for offside. The referee hasn't seen it. The game goes on. Flag's down now, and Tootle's got the ball. Clipped inside, out comes Lometz. Fisted away, not very well. Bellish straight into the arms of Peter Lometz. That was a chance. In fact, it's broken free again. Egan could be in here. Tries the shot, Dennis Boland puts it down, and Oscar Creano follows up, 3-0, and lo and behold, 30 minutes into the second half. Egan, trying to get the turn, sends in Eisendorn, clips it far post, Egan, oh, and he missed the sitter. Ball played out to Eisendorn, clipped inside, and Charlie Egan rose beautifully.
And Melbourne, Croatia in third position. Croatia was beaten last week by Heidelberg, but that was their first loss in 18 games, whereas South Melbourne has lost only one game in 11. Now let's have a look at the teams. First of all, South Melbourne, and their lineup showed that number 4 Keith Adams and number 12 Drago Diankovic are in the team. It will be a battle of tactics. John Canasoulis, number 13, one of the youngest players on the park today, playing in the South Melbourne midfield, and a heavy tackle coming in from Sean Parton in the first few seconds of play. Brown square, a header coming in. Goes to Davidson. Davidson still hand-to-hand combat. Eisendorn. Blair. Comes in again. Blair again. Well, what a game this is so far. Tony Kortshaw. Campbell. Again, Egan giving chase with Parton behind him. The linesman indicates a foul. Here's a chance for Egan. Yes, it's in the net. Charlie Egan has put South Melbourne into the lead at 1-0. And we've been playing for 26 minutes. Doug Brown took the free kick. Murphy knocked it on. Parton couldn't stop it. And Egan puts it away. One hand by Barnovich touched the ball, but it's in the net. Sean Parton, we saw in that replay, got down on his knees to block the ball as the back header came in from Murphy. He could do no more than that, just block it. Egan was there to pounce onto it and put it into the net. Now Jozo Antolovic taking a free kick for Croatia, headed away by Blair and cleared by Crino. Have been let off.
Postecoglou playing on Tommy Cummings. Cummings has been taken off, and that shows what he's done on him. Canasoulis is playing quite well also. But up front, we're lacking a bit up front, especially with the final pass. We seem to be falling down here.
First time shot from Egan as it came forward from Davidson. Postecoglou crosses. Now it's cleared, comes in again, and Egan right in front of the goalkeeper. One-handed save by Barnovich. Has won the match 1-0. The goal scorer is Charlie Egan, and South Melbourne goes to the top of the National Conference ladder. Charlie Egan congratulated by the fans. The kids rush onto the park to congratulate their heroes. So we leave you at Middle Park with a final score. South Melbourne 1, Melbourne Croatia 0.
5-1, with goals coming from Gary Ward, who points on Croatia. Juventus move into 4th place, half a dozen teams.
Debut against England in 1983.
Good move this, and it was started by Kenny Murphy. Then Soper, and again it was Jennings on the overlap that caused the problems. From this point on, Forest were in all sorts of problems, and it's Kenny Murphy who started the move, who finishes it. So 29 minutes in the first half, Australia 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Time break. And now Kenny Murphy. Still Murphy. Davidson up in support. Murphy carried on running through. Still Murphy pulling that one back. And Ciccone there takes that off the feet of Charlie Egan. Is inside their own penalty area. So Murphy drilling that one through, and a good save there by Ciccone. Three ways play on. And now this is Kenny Murphy. Still Murphy. Lance Orphanides, still Murphy now, faced by Firos, getting that one in. Kosmina! Goal from John Kosmina. 18 minutes gone. And Australia take the lead. Kosmina the scorer. But really, the credit for that goal should go to Kenny Murphy.
Nice touch for Halford. Halford! He's in the net. 1-0 to South Melbourne. What a great move. Works his way well, Egan. Tries a chip. And good save by Oliver. Well, that was a very dangerous cross into the middle there by Egan. Showing great speed to get away from McKee. To Win, good play. Win has space, gets his cross in. Salamides. Tassios! And just over the top. Murphy will try one. Ball in for Crino. He knocks it for Brown. Brown into the side netting. And another good move by South Melbourne. Brown's corner, it's deep. Blair's there, gets a touch. And good save by Oliver. There was 2 or 3 Heidelberg Hellas forwards, rather, who were waiting to pounce. Osendorn floats his free kick in. Davidson's there. Oliver has to hurry up his line. Crino, good ball for Egan. In the clear. Has Brown in the middle. Looks for Brown. There he is. Brown with a chance. 2-0. And a bad pass by Yankos. Egan looks for Brown. Brown control. He does. Good save by Oliver. And he hits the rebound. Well, a mistake there from Yankos. And now Yankos and Brown are exchanging shoves. And Egan looked to be offside, but the flag stayed down. Egan into the area, brought down with a rugby challenge. And here's trouble for Joe Angeli. A professional foul with Egan through. And Yankos did that earlier. And was booked, and the same fate befalls Angeli. And Murphy sets off, leaves it. Brown tries a chip. And that's close. Hit the bar, in fact. Or possibly the stanchion behind, but it wasn't far off. Talking to South Melbourne's hero today, Doug Brown. You were cheered off the ground at the end of the match, Doug.
Oh yeah, it was a tremendous feeling to be cheered off the ground, seeing that we've now finally won the championship, you know.
Now, it's been a long time coming for these fans. They've been hoping since '77 for the big one. Now you finally got it.
Oh well, yeah, Hellas has a big reputation in Australian soccer about being one of the best clubs, and they've failed to win championships or cups before, and we've won the championship and the cup, so we've done well this year, and I hope that's a reward for the fans.
You're top goal scorer with 18 goals in the conference. Looking ahead now for Sydney City and the other Sydney teams have possibly come up against, they've been a bit of a bogey team this year.
Well, Sydney City, you know, they've got a big reputation of being a good team. You know, well, they've proved that they have been the best in the previous years, and if we meet them in any of the finals, I'm sure it'll be a good game, but I think we can knock anybody over now that we're playing.
Now you've sealed the championship now with one match to play, but there was times earlier this year when you didn't look to be the favourites. How hard was it to come out of that slump in the middle of the year?
Oh, well, we lost a few silly games at home. Preston beat us and George Cross beat us, you know, and that was very disappointing for the fans, and they stuck by us, but I've always been confident we had the players to do well this year, and we've finally proved it.
Now, this Hellas team, if it stays together, could rule the roost here for a couple of years to come. Are there any plans to bring more players in next year?
Oh, well, that's Len McKendry's decision and also the committee, but I mean, Lenny's never been known to buy a lot of players. He likes to work with the players he's got, and we've had a few young guys come through this year, so I don't see anybody, well, maybe 1 or 2 players could be coming. That's, as I say, that's up to Lenny to McKendry.
All right, Doug Brown, thanks very much. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Narrow the gap to just 2 goals. So an intriguing battle there too. A matter which, of course, was settled some weeks ago. Heidelberg came second, Croatia are third, and because of a better goal difference, the Lions finished 4th ahead of Juventus. In the lower half, Adelaide City have finished ahead of Footscray on goal difference, remain in 2nd place. Marconi move ahead of Leichhardt on goal difference, in 7th place in the lower half, where again 5 teams end up being separated by just 2 points.
Biscuits found himself some space. Could be an early start for Melbourne, Croatia. Can he get a shot in? Laid off with deflection. Oh, and it's just gone outside a post. A shot by Jimmy Campbell, deflected off a defender. Peter Lomet's going the wrong way, and Melbourne, Croatia could have very easily been off to a dream start. To Crino. Kenny Murphy made a lot of room down the left, but it's gone forward for Dougie Brown. Can he get there before Adam? Does inside. Oh, and that was very close to a goal as Charlie Egan came into the near post. Wide to Brogan. Jimmy Campbell arriving in the penalty box. Brogan comes inside. Inside again. Tries a shot and it's just outside the post. Steve Blair. Good bit of skill by the big fella. Away down the right-hand side. He's got Davidson going on ahead of him. Uses Alan Davidson now. Brown and Egan in the box. Far post. In comes Egan. Got the header. And it's in the net. It's a goal. A great move by South Melbourne. Steve Blair. Fine bit of skill. Broke out of the back. Sent Alan Davidson away down the right-hand side. Alan Davidson, a far post ball. Charlie Egan on the end of it. And it's there, 1-0. Brogan. To Biskic. Got coming outside him. He's got Brogan on the far post. And he failed to get it there. But it comes instead to come in. Far post, Brogan heads it back. Out comes Peter Lemets, but the flag had gone up for offside against Brogan. Doug Brown sends it in, near post, easily headed away by Biskic. Halford. Played it on for Alan Davison. This time he's beat the offside trap. Charlie Egan's in the middle, and it's a blatant push in the back, and the referee awards a penalty. Absolutely no doubt about it in my mind. Here comes Brown. 2-0. Inside to Brown, touched on for Egan, but cut out by Smuggler, and to Brown again, and that would have been some goal. Bobby Russell fouling Davy Brogan from behind. Carl Halford kicks the ball away and gets a booking. Brogan. Weighty numbers beat Brogan, and away comes Oscar Crino. Dougie Brown's found himself some room. He could go in with a shot here. He does. Oh, and it's just outside the post. A good break by Oscar Crino. To Lomets, and now it'll go to Kalafatidis. In fact, Lomets has decided he's going to send the big one up. Charlie Egan's on the chase. This could be a dodgy one. He's got there first. Pulled it back for Halford. Far post, Dougie Brown. 3-0. Well, Charlie Egan did tremendous then.
Between South Melbourne and Heidelberg continues in the National Conference Grand Final here at Olympic Park. In 17 league matches since the NSL started in 1977, South Melbourne has won 6, there have been 6 draws, and Heidelberg has won 5. Recent form is all important as far as the Grand Final is concerned, and the results show that South Melbourne has beaten Heidelberg in their past 4 matches. Looking at the South Melbourne Hellas team first, and we see that Alan Davidson, their star midfielder, who's joining Nottingham Forest in England next year, is back, although he was injured playing for Australia against Tasmania in Hobart last week. Davidson is the man who inspired South Melbourne's first NSL victory over Heidelberg back in 1980, with scored a hat-trick of goals in the semi-final against Melbourne, Croatia on Wednesday night. Our referee, Doug Rennie from Sydney, and this is Heidelberg's 8th final since the National League started. Knocked on by Stevenson for Valentine. Murphy sticks with him, gets in his challenge. Steve Marley, number 3. He joined Heidelberg from Croydon City, the Victorian State League club, early this year. An attempted header, and Salamides with it. Salamides. So another free kick from Marley. Headed away by Blair, and a long shot coming from Mickey Peterson. He puts it away. 1-0 to Heidelberg.